is the deep state response. The deep state response to the activities of Doge. And of course, I don't know, this might be too much into the deep internet stuff, not deep internet, but kind of if you know what Reddit is, it's a social media site for leftist losers and guys who really don't have anything but too much time on their hands. And they hate Republicans and they hate Trump and they think, it's pretty much a wasteland. Reddit is. But Reddit decided that they were going to take the time to dox the people who worked at Doge and incite violence against them. And so this is from the Hindustan Times, if I said that right. Musk fires back after Reddit users call for public execution of Doge staff in violent posts. They have broken the law. Now, of course, people on the left are going, "Oh, what's the matter, Elon? You don't like the fact that somebody else is, coming after you?" Yeah, no. Calling for public executions is not cool, man. I don't really care what you think in that regard, but it's not right. And it's not supposed to be that way. Just because they're kicking rocks over and the cockroaches are running away as quickly as possible doesn't mean you get to incite violence against them. I'm trying to find this guy's Tracy post. All right. Yeah, I should have done it beforehand, but it's been a weird night. What can I say? Let's see here. Okay, I can't find him. But one of these fat old reporters was talking about how Musk shouldn't be angry that people are inciting violence against Reddit. I thought it was okay to do these kinds of things as far as looking into the nature of where our money is being spent and how we should absolutely know where it's going. And so you have a bunch of angry Redditors who are leftists by trade. I'm like a dog with a bone trying to find this thing. So now they're upset about it. And they want to come after Musk and they want to come after all the people that are working on it. And if you looked at them, there are a bunch of like 19, 20-year-old autistic kids essentially who are going after line by people who have no skin in the game when it comes to government money, right? People who aren't where. Here he is, Michael Tracy. Let me show this to you. It'll be worth it. I promise. Thank you for sticking with me on Rickcast while I chew the air for 15 minutes to try and find this one piece. Here he is, Michael Tracy. So to recap, and Michael Tracy does not look as good as his picture states. He is a fat, unkept loser of a man. So to recap, someone published the names of the Doge staff who currently wield extreme power dictating government policy. No, Michael. All they're doing is saying, hey, there's $47,000 for a transgender comic book in Bulgaria. Hey, we spent $1 million trying to get Sesame Street in Iraq, and then they decapitated Elmo in the first episode. That's a joke, but it wouldn't be too far away from it. They're going through and saying, how much money is going here? How much money is going there? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right either. And so the angry Redditors decided to publish their names. Remember, this is at the same time that the FBI is complaining that their name should not be revealed. They've done crimes against the American people by making up charges, overcharging them, putting them in solitary confinement, and destroying their lives for the crime of walking up the steps of the Capitol building on January 6th. But these kids, and they are kids, they're a bunch of like 20-year-olds. They're all autistic nerds like Elon. Find this stuff and they're just reporting like, hey man, should there be $1.3 million for a transgender opera in China? And now they should die. And Michael Tracy, the fat loser that he is, doesn't seem to think that's a problem. And Musk declared this a criminal offense. And the DC U.S. attorney pledged to investigate. maybe it's time for everybody to reread the First Amendment. Not when you cannot be protected when it calls for violence. I don't think Michael is as smart as he thinks he is, because these old journalists tend to think that they're smart because they got a creative writing degree and they couldn't write a book to save their life. So they became quote unquote journalists. And so all they do is sit in their computer and they sit in their office chewing and eating ding dongs all day, pretending like they're changing the world, like they're all operating on the Watergate scandal. So these kids have been exposed, and Elon Musk is mad about it. And you know what? I'm not the biggest fan of Elon Musk. I've been accused of being an Elon Musk homer. I don't like the Neuralink. I don't like a lot of things he does. But if, right now he's fine in this role and what he's doing, great. Let him go after him. Let him get all the things that he wants. But nobody, all right? The First Amendment includes exposing information that the American people and people of this union deserve to know, i.e., how much money is being blown out all over the world, so that money can then be backfilled and into the pockets of U.S. politicians and NGO organizations. But those kids deserve to die, right, Michael? Is that the case? It's okay. It's okay when your buddies get to dox and your buddies can then call for violence and your buddies should be protected by the First Amendment. But the kid at Doge who's trying to expose wasteful spending, that kid, yeah, he should totally die. Elon Musk has shared a post that has exposed comments on a Reddit page calling for the public execution of Doge software developers. He shared this post that exposed comments on the Reddit page calling for the public execution of the Doge software developers. And I think we actually have the screenshots right here. Doge henchmen have been identified. These are all posts on this Reddit sub. And you can, it's awful, vile things that are being exposed with these young kids. But they should be publicly executed for it. The description of the page read, Muskrat, very creative, by the way. Doge's henchmen have been identified, and one comment on the page says their names drag their blanking bodies because time to drop the mitts. Now, of course, most of the people on Reddit are the people that you would know if you see them exist on Reddit. Kind of fat, kind of pale, kind of people that haven't seen a girl anywhere since high school. Another reason, I'll say it, these Nazi stooges need to be blanked. It's time to do more than drag names. It's time to drag their blanks by a large coil of blank, reads the guy. I have to say blank or else YouTube's going to nuke me. Maybe that's a good thing because the YouTube comment guys don't like me tonight. I love you guys. I'm just in a bad mood, as you can tell. Still love you. We fight, but it's okay. But if I say any of this stuff, YouTube will nuke me from space. The screenshots were shared by X account Reddit Lies. Sharing the post, Musk wrote, they have broken the law. Yeah, inciting violence is not protected speech. It's never been protected speech. Never been. That's a crime. Inciting violence to it. Now, I'm sure there's some lawyer out there who will say, well, Rick, technically, if they say something and they don't do anything, then they're pretty much protected. It's only when they actually happen. Fine. You can have that legalistic argument. I'm not going to fight you on that. I would argue in this case, because of Musk's nature and the fact that doxing these kids puts them in danger. Now, if they just said anybody who works for Doge needs to be blank, 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 fine, you can say that. But once you put names to it and then you expose them, which doxing is a whole different thing. We haven't really addressed it here in these United States law-wise. We really haven't, if you think about it. Because it's just one of these things that people, they're not. What was it? The lone gunman? They all think they're the lone gunman from the FBI. And so it is, it's sad. It's terrible. And it's really solidifying how much and how important what they're doing. Trump's not a savior. Trump's not the Messiah. Elon Musk is not. He's a technocrat that wants to put a chip in everybody's brain. But the exposing of this stuff has rattled the left. And they don't know what to do. So of course, typical progressives, Marxists, whatever you want to call them, are going straight to violence. Now, the page has been banned because they let it sit for a couple hours and then they're like, oh, we banned it. Sorry. It says the subreddit has been temporarily banned due to prevent prevalence of violent content. Inciting and glorifying violence or doxing are against Reddit's platform-wide rules. It'll reopen in 72 hours, which they'll just go back and doing the same thing. U.S. attorney vows to protect Elon Musk and his staff in response to the attack on Doge and Musk. Interim U.S. attorney Ed Martin vowed to protect the Tesla boss and his staff. By the way, there are people that are talking like, oh, Elon Musk lives here and he doesn't have a security detail. If you think for one moment that Elon Musk doesn't have the most expensive PMC, private military contractors around him and where he lives 24/7, you might be the dumbest person on the planet. This isn't the first time Elon's been doxxed. This is the first time Elon's life has been threatened. So don't think that he's got some of the nastiest 6'5" jack dude. He doesn't have any women on his detail. Let's just put it that way. There's not one woman that is on Elon Musk's detail. They're all Nebraska corn-fed dudes who are ready to punch a little skinny nerd. And so that's just what it is. Quote, I recognize that some of the staff at Doge have been targeted publicly. At the time, I ask you utilize me and my staff to assist in protecting Doge work and the Doge workers. Any threat, confrontation, or any other actions in any way that impacts their work may be breaking numerous laws. Because there's nothing illegal about what they're doing. There's nothing illegal about what Musk and his team are doing. You may not like it if you're a leftist, because you feel the sky is falling and Rachel Maddow's crying and her stunt double, Chris Hayes, doesn't know what to do because he can't cry. And they're all just freaking out. They're all just freaking out because their world as they know it is falling apart. It's absolutely crumbling. And that's fine. Yeah, that's right. These morons who are like, oh yeah, let's get Elon Musk. You ain't getting near Elon Musk. You're not getting within 100 feet if the guy doesn't want you near him. So it's, yeah, that's a very good point, Crotchety. I think Crotchety, I'm going to take your name tonight because I'm the Crotchety. I'm not old. I'm just the Crotchety short guy. No, I am in my curmudgeon form tonight. I am not Rick Barrett, the armed Catholic. I'm Rick Barrett, the curmudgeon, and I am out. Not really. So that's indeed what it is. And it's sad that it's not, I mean, it's sad because we're at this point, but is it shocking? Is it unexpected? No, not even close. The left naturally goes to violence, and that's what they've been crying out in front of USAID, screaming and hollering. You got that absolutely crazy representative from Houston, Crockett. She's screaming like, we gonna get up all in your face, Trump. It's like, honey, you ain't doing nothing. Okay. Just like Maxine Waters back in the day when she was telling people that was an inciting violence. If you see them at a gasoline station, you get in their face. You all remember that back in the summer of love when they were inciting violence on a daily basis. And that's just what they do. And so I'm glad to see the U.S. attorney, the acting one, saying nothing's going to happen to him. We're going to keep him, because you have to. You have to push back against these people. You have to do it. Now, of course, if you had a working FBI, if you had a neutral FBI, you could actually look at them and say, go find the Redditors and put them in jail. You can't do this. And so that's the second story. I actually think it's probably the biggest story. The FBI one's pretty massive because it shows just how corrupt that institution is. But now we have this one as well, because you don't have a functioning FBI, which, by the way, I don't think you could use it. Send them out, send a bulletin out to all the state police in these areas. Tell the state police to round them up. You actually don't need the FBI. I can't believe I forgot about it. You have the U.S. Marshals. You don't need the FBI because you have the U.S. Marshals. Use the U.S. Marshals. They have them. Use them. Go get these guys. Hey, Michael, did anything big happen at the Trump press conference? I chose not to cover it, despite my social media manager saying, hey, cover the Trump press conference. And I was like, yeah, sure, I will. And then I didn't. I'm 0 for 2 tonight. Michael, let us know if anything happened at the Trump press conference. But that's our second story here, where Musk is doing, it means they're in the right direction. It means they're doing the right thing because these people are losing their minds. And they're going to stomp and they're going to cry and they're going to do all these things to try and make people's lives miserable and try to scare them